Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to Worth Guitars. Welcome to 2025. This is the first video that I've actually done this year because I want to be completely honest. I got a little overwhelmed with the amount of work that I personally needed to do, that I needed to put my hands on and get done. It was not progressing fast enough. Sometimes, if I'm honest with myself, my brain will skip to something that's a little more interesting to me, and I'll neglect to do the things that I really should be doing. Not neglect, but they kind of get pushed aside just a bit, while I try to stimulate my own mind to keep myself interested in things. That's just my own personal brain. I have to keep it refreshed. I have to find new things, new ways. I have to look at every angle of a thing until I think I've got it straight in my head, and then I kind of approach it that way. But anyway, so I had to take some of the time that I would have been normally doing videos and putting them out. I was trying to do like one every week there for a while, and that's a little bit of work because while you're working, you have to remember to try and film it at the same time. If you do this kind of thing, if you're crazy enough to try to do videos. And sometimes I question my sanity for beginning the whole video thing, but you know, we got to the point now where we have almost 4,500 subscribers, which is crazy. And I mean, I appreciate that. It's awesome. And so there are a few people watching, and so I'm going to try to keep doing it for a while. Here's the thing. Here's another thing, if I'm being 100% honest, about doing videos on YouTube. It's hard for me to come up with stuff to do. I can do the same thing kind of over and over again. And I don't know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing, because, you know, there are a lot of people that do videos about building guitars, and they have their own ways of doing things. There's some factory, tours that you can go on YouTube, things like that. Obviously, I'm a small builder. I build 2, 3, 4 at a time, whereas they're just cranking them out the back door, you know, because they got a huge factory underneath them. But having said all of that, I'm going to keep doing some videos because I think it's kind of a cool thing. If nothing else, it shows a history of Worth Guitars, where we are and what we did. And I think that's kind of cool for it to be out there for the whole rest of the world to know that. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, okay? So, having said that, let me show you what I've tried to be doing, and Steve and Steven have been helping as well, what we've been trying to get accomplished over the past probably month to try and close down. Got the necks made for this series of Celine's that I'm doing. It just happened to be where there were two guys who wanted very similar guitars, with the exception of this one is a 24.75 inch scale and the other one is a 25.5 inch scale. And I figured out how to make the necks the same. It's just a difference in the depth of the pocket it goes into the guitar. So that worked for me really well. I'll have to explain that further maybe one day if you guys are into that. So this is one of them. Flame maple top, Pal Ferro neck, and I have the rings in the fretboard. I hope you can see that okay. With his signature inlaid. This has a Honduras mahogany body, African mahogany neck. This was a really pretty piece, very nice quarter sawn, so I went with it. And this is ready for sealer and grain fill. We're just going to do oil on the back of the neck. We're going to do gloss everywhere else. So that's one. Let me put this one up. This is from Micah Payne. Very pretty quilted maple. We're going to do an orange burst on this, and we have the flames inlaid in the fretboard. That was quite a challenge to do. The abalam that I used I found is very brittle, and it would break off pretty easily. But for the most part, it turned out really well. I'm happy with it. There is a little bit of filler in places because it was just too difficult to get because of the radius on the fretboard. The abalam, the thinness of the abalam made it difficult to get it to have enough over here because, let me see if I can explain this. The pocketing cut that I use on the CNC to cut out the area where the inlay will be is a 2D program, which means it only cuts in 2D. It doesn't do shapes, it'll do flat. Obviously there's a radius here, so having the inlay all the way out to the edge of this board created an area where the inlay couldn't hardly get down into the fretboard enough to be sanded flush, if that makes any sense to you. So we had to fight this one. This one was tough, but I learned some stuff on it. The next time we'll do much better with that. But I'm still very happy with it. Beautiful fretboard. This is a Honduras, no, this is an African mahogany back with an African mahogany neck. Obviously, I still need to do the head plate. That will be the same material as this, right here. That will be up here. That'll be nice. We'll do the same burst on that. Okay, so that's the length. This thing is super light too, man. Crazy how light it is. So anyway, so there's that one, and then there's this one here, which is Honduran mahogany body with a maple neck and the moon phase inlay on Pal Ferro fretboard. So this one still needs quite a bit of work. So there's some in progression, right? Hang this up. So that's where we are on those. Now I was doing videos about the acoustic guitar. And I think you may have seen already that I got the feather inlaid in the fretboard on the 12th fret. Can you see that? Let me get over there where you are, where you're seeing from. There you go. So you got the feather inlaid. I need to do the side dot markers today. I had to order some. I ordered, I think they're 5mm mother of pearl. So I'm going to put those on here in just a minute. And the body is here. Now I did have, over the winter when it got really, really super cold, I did have a problem with this area here cracking where this rosette is. This rosette is made out of this material here, which is a white black ebony. And I milled it to the correct angles and then cut off slices, like slices of bread or cheese, enough to make a circle laid out using that angle. Wasn't an octagon. I forget what the proper term was, but anyway, you get the drift. Well, that material, when it got real cold, seemed to dry out very quickly. I guess because that's really essentially ingrain right there, no matter whether it's ebony or not. And so it started to split. And when it did so, it actually started to split the top as well because it was glued down so well that the top started to crack a little too. So I had a couple little issues that I had to deal with. This part here opened a little bit. I was really bummed about that because you put a lot of work into something and, you know, I don't know, it's my bad. I should have had a humidifier in here and I didn't. I have nobody to blame but myself. But the rest of the guitar is looking good. The neck is coming along real well. We're going to get back on this guitar. We're going to get it done. But what I did to reinforce this area, because I was afraid of the way that was splitting, and I think that's going to stop once I get finish sprayed on it. Again, too many things going on at one time, right? The brain got too many windows open at the same time. So I cut pieces of the same material out of spruce and reinforced this whole ring inside here. And then I'll sand that nice and flush back down inside there, round it over some so it's not so visible. You know, I'll put an angle back, but that will reinforce this whole area here. I haven't seen any problems with it since I did that. But that really bummed me out because I put a lot of work into trying to get it exactly right, you know. That's the thing about building guitars. One of the things is you can kind of make yourself crazy by trying to do it exactly right, because exactly right is what you want. You know, either it's right or it's not, right? There's no gray area. You can't say, well, it's almost intonated properly. The frets are almost in the right place. It just doesn't work like that. It's either right or it's wrong. So there you go on that, you know. So you really can kind of get into stressing about it. But I think that's another thing that is fascinating about it, is because it's a puzzle to solve. you got to really bear down, and you got to use your mind and, you know, your skills to try and make it work. Sometimes you feel like you're really pushing the rock, man, to get it up to the top, you know. But that's where we are, guys, okay? So in the next couple of weeks, all of these are going to start getting done because I'm going to start dedicating myself to really working on these and getting them knocked out. We also have a beautiful single cutaway coming up that has a very cool inlay pattern. And then we have some other builds ahead. But we'll talk about those later, okay? For now, what I'm going to do is just put some dots in the side of this, and then that can be applied to the neck. And then we can shape the neck. I still need to shape the neck a little bit. Well, we do have the head plate on. I still need to round this over back here where I can put a nice piece of veneer right there, and then I'll just cut the holes out. But that's where we're at. The truss rod is in, right? With a nice little piece of wood over top of the truss rod to hold it in. This is one of the truss rods that I bought from LMI before they went out of business. But it's still a very nice truss rod, so I'm going to use these up on these acoustic guitars. So that's where we are on that. I need to make the back of the neck a little thinner. Then I'm going to put it on the board. I'm going to start rasping it off, and we'll get that piece of veneer on there. We can get the fretboard on here. Then we can start sanding things for final finish. Man, I can't wait for that. I'm really looking forward to playing this guitar. Really looking forward to try to play maybe some music in some clubs and some bars once in a while with some friends. So, but I want to do it with a worth guitar. You know what I mean? All right. All right, hang on a second. Well, you probably can't see the marks that are on here, but I've already laid out where the dots go. And obviously these side dot markers coincide with the fret position dots on the fretboard. So I use this little cool tool here that I bought from Crimson Guitars. And it lays out the center of the frets for you per scale. See, this is a 25.5 inch scale guitar, and there's the side dot marker. Boom, 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 and marks out exactly where the center of the frets are, which is pretty cool. That comes in very handy. So I'm going to be using these little dots here. Actually, I can cut on the back of this because it's not final thickness yet. Perfect. It's just what I need. There we go. I do have some, man, my fingers don't want to cooperate. These will obviously for Strat style guitars and stuff. But I like to use these little guys here. These are mother of pearl. Side dot markers. All right, so let me grab a drill. We'll get those drilled in and put in. Hold on. All right, I got my drill bit. I'm just gonna start a little hole here with this scratch awl. This wood is hard. You can barely even put a dent in it. Can't get a good bite. Here, this is better. Break out the old trusty scratch awl. Do not hold your hand underneath of it when you're pushing down on it. That's what I need, a bigger hole like that. Something that drill bit can find, so it's not dancing around everywhere. That's what I need right there. All right. I think we can make some progress now. So, like I was saying, I like to start backwards first and then go forward. You go backwards a little bit, it creates the cup that the drill bit will fall down in. But it's not cutting yet. I don't know. I've just seemed to have a lot more luck with getting exactly where I want the drill bit to go by doing that. By creating a little indentation that's exactly the same size as the drill bit. Does that make sense to you? Almost forgot to go backwards that time. One more. All right, success. 3, 5, 7, 9, 12. I didn't do 12. That didn't drill very straight. There's always one. It doesn't really go where you want it to. It's going to be a little bit off. It's usually one of these. Because they're side by side. I think that's workable though. All right. Let's get these little doodads out here. Down in the bowl where they don't jump out and run away. Put a little bit of medium down in here. 1. All it needs is a little dot. That's too much of a dot. Sometimes it comes out fast. All right. Get it in the hole. Couple little taps. Make sure it's down in there good. These mother of pearl really glow well. They show up really super well on the side of your fretboard because they catch the light a little bit. That iridescent surface they have on the tops. So that reflects light back at you. When you start to get older, like me, you need to get every advantage you can get. All right, a couple more, almost there. One more. There we go. All right, it's beautiful. That's done. We can sand that flush now. Quick little sand job there. There you go. That looks good. All right, we got that done. Okay, we got that done. That's a beautiful thing. Now, that fretboard is ready to be glued onto a neck. So that's very cool. All that's been done. And we're getting close now to having a neck. Once we have a neck, we're going to start sanding that baby and get it ready for the finish room. I'm really looking forward to that. So this is my box of 5mm dots and side dot inlay. This is where I keep all the drill bits for that. But those long pieces don't fit in there right. So I'm going to have to figure out something there. I'm thinking I don't like that. These, we'll figure out something else. For the moment, they can go right there. So that's it for today, guys. That's all I got. I'm going to think about what I want to do for the videos in the future. We'll probably do a lot more on the acoustic. That one needs to be done. And I'm going to try and think of something else to do some videos about. Okay, I don't want to just keep repeating myself. If you got any suggestions, man, let me know. Or maybe I'll just do a couple, see what's going on in the shop videos. We'll get a few of them done, all right? I'm hoping to get some more guest appearances, playing the guitars that we build. I'm hoping to do that. I'm working on that. Some professionally done demos as well, so be looking for those, okay? So I'm going to get out of here, guys. Again, thanks for watching and thanks for subscribing. Please hit the thumbs up button if you like what you see, you know, or share it with your friends. And peace out there. You guys be good to each other. Don't forget to get out there and support your local restaurants and bars and all that good stuff. And tip your waitresses, of course. All right? Peace out. Work guitars. Bye now. Did it do the same thing again?
No, it's counting down. No, it's like it's counting up.
No, it's always supposed to be 3 seconds and then it takes a picture.
Yeah, no, it's counting to 12.
It's not working.